Thursday. So I know real quick. Hopefully y'all are gonna see this. Hopefully you guys got the saw the post, the little reminder. I threw up. I know we're on the second and fourth Thursday of the month, but we had to come back today. We had to come back on this Thursday. We couldn't skip because last week our topic, women, it's your fault. Yo, that thing lit up. The discussion was great. So we said, you know what? We're not gonna wait. We're not gonna wait for the fourth Thursday. We're gonna hit this thing again on the next Thursday. So welcome to our extended this month. Real life relationship growth, get together, come together, chat it up, all of that, right? I want to say, let me say this real quick. IG, you guys were not connected last week. I thought you all were. I went through my restream process and added IG, realized it did not go live last week. So I apologize. You are definitely welcome to go to the YouTube channel. And let me give this plug real quick. I would love for y'all to all go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, hit that like button, all of that, so you get reminders when we come on. So hey, good evening, everybody. Hey, I'm Donna. Welcome to the Real Life Relationship Growth Get Together. Let's welcome to the party. Um, just a real quick snippet. I have to say this. I always say this every week. I am not a professional. I am not. I'm a Black woman in this world, living this life, doing the damn thing, and enjoying it in the process. I have my ups, I have my downs. The things that I go through may help you. The things that you go through may help me. We are here to promote, to produce, to give, and focus on healthy, growing, loving relationships. That's what we are here for. This is the criteria for you to be a part of this family. Y'all ready? This is the criteria. You have to be single, dating, courting, married, divorced, a widower. Was there another one that I added? Or engaged. Came up with engaged. Courting and engagement. Some people kind of, but we ain't gonna get into that. That is the criteria. If you fall under any of those categories, this is the place for you. This is the place for you because what we do, we come on here and we show love. That's what we do. Now, it's going to be some things said that you may not agree with, that you may not have experienced, or you may have a different perspective. But just listen up. Just listen up. Type in the chat. Give us your thoughts. So last week I had three wonderful guests on. Three wonderful guests. That thing was so good to us. We was like, yo, we got to do this again. And please believe we're going to let you know we're doing it again. We're doing it again after tonight because the response was so great. So first intro, ladies first. Oh, ladies first. Y'all know that's that Queen Latifah back. If you don't know that, we can't be friends. Here we go. My girl, Corey B. You heard it, Corey. You knew what that was, right?
Ooh, ladies first. Ladies first.
This my girl, Corey B. Corey hails for the great state of Wessex. Where you from, baby?
Delaware. Wilmington, Delaware. Yes, there are Black people there.
Oh, girl, I know. I got people up there. I have people there. Yes. And then we have, y'all know this gentleman. He is no stranger to the RLRG family and even more personal, my family. This is my cousin, Mr. Cortland Tony.
What is going on, beautiful people?
What up, Bob?
Uniquely made today. I'm uniquely made today.
Oh, uniquely made. My bad.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have dual personalities, but today I'm uniquely made.
Oh, okay. So, Cortland, tell us a little snippet about Uniquely Made. What is that, sir?
Uniquely made is basically me trying to empower people to live the purpose that God has designed for them and to move in that direction. God has uniquely made all of us for a particular purpose and a particular path. Amen. So you can find me on all all social platforms underneath that name, except for Facebook. You can find me on the corner.
All right. And last but certainly not least, y'all, it's a funny story about this gentleman. I'm gonna bring him on camera, and I'm gonna say this little funny story real quick.
Oh, man.
Quick. This my boy Mark, y'all. This is my boy Mark. So before Mark gives his little introduction of what he represents, this is a funny little cute story, right? Okay. I met Mark. I don't even know how long ago it is at this point. On Facebook. I sent Mark a friend's request.
Okay.
Because he had a friend in common, which was one of my daycare parents, my daycare families. It was the children's aunt. And so when I asked him about her, he was like, I don't know who that is.
At least I'm honest.
But, right, he couldn't remember. Either he could remember meeting her. I mean, you know, however it goes, it just happens. It just happens. But from that point on, me and Mark just been so cool. When I say this brother right here,
the other side of the pillow cool.
Huh?
The other side of the pillow cool.
Right, right. Every event I have had, whether it's movies on the lawn at the house or my 50th birthday bash, the brother has represented. He has come through, and I appreciate him. So, y'all, this is Mr. Mark. Mark represents. Mark has a podcast, and that's what we say. It's called Date Night Online. Is that right?
Yep, this right here.
Yep.
Date Night Online. Real quick, y'all know what that introduction of y'all two in that dance. Hey, I'm glad you put me last because I was about to go in, right? But anyway,
you don't agree with the ladies first.
What's going on?
Hey,
like,
okay, Date Night Online. You know, I'm on YouTube. Date Night is it's a platform. It's not a podcast. I always correct because a platform is something that people can actually step up to, tell their story, give ideas, problem solve, etc. So Date Night is more of a platform that I have the everyday person who actually is in the relationships and in the dating and come up and kind of talk about, you know, their particular story or whatnot. So that's what Date Night is, and that's it. We'll talk a little bit more. I'm sure it'll pop up at some point.
You're right. Platform. I was literally trying to think of the word platform.
I know.
And podcast was the easiest because you're right. I agree because I don't have a podcast.
Right.
I have a
platforming.
Yeah. I totally agree. Totally agree. So thank you for that. Thank you for that soft correction.
Being a leader, that's what a leader is.
That's what I mean. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. So the topic tonight, like I said last week, the topic was ladies. It's your fault. It is you, girl. It's your fault. So we had to follow up. We had to follow this up. And the topic tonight is, of course, fellas, it's y'all. It's y'all fault. And look, why my stuff ain't moving fast enough for me?
Because that fakery you about to spill out.
Right.
That's what that was.
Right.
I mean, I can't debate the topic. That's what the topic is.
It's never our fault.
It's never our fault. Spoken.
That's what it was. Okay. IG, again, I apologize. You guys aren't going to be able to see these fabulous people, but y'all will be able to hear them. We gonna work it out eventually. All right. So, men, it's your fault. It's your fault. Last week we started out with the perspective from the gentleman. The topic came to me from Mr. Cortland down there, and I was like, "Oh, we got to do that. That's good." So we want to switch this up a little bit. So we're gonna start off with Miss Corey. We gonna start off with Miss Corey. Miss Corey and I chatted it up a little bit earlier today, and we was like, "Oh, we got so much." We could go several places with this thing. But we decided this is how we're going to start out. And the fellas don't know this. The fellas don't know it. but they're going to catch on with us. This is how we're going to start out. We want to start out by saying to you men, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here, not just the two here, Courtland.
Hey, stop treating us like the pilgrims and lay the food out, okay?
Yeah.
You trying to set us up.
Yeah. I'm coming.
They feed you for this slaughter.
But we decided. We decided how we want to start this thing off. Was we need to let y'all know, fellas, what it is that we as ladies look for, what we require for ourselves, what we need from you all, what we need from you all. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry. What we need from you all. So, Corey, go ahead and talk to the brothers, talk to the people,
gentlemen. So good to see you this evening. I want to say this as lovingly as possible. It's your fault. Okay.
It is.
It is. It's your fault that we post, chant, and wear the phrase "protect Black women."
Ooh.
It is your fault that we are 40, single, no kids. It's your fault. It's your fault that people randomly tell us when we say, "I'm sorry, brother, I don't want to give you my number." Well, you're mediocre at best. It's your fault. I see you taking notes. I just want to let you know we love you, but it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave it there.
I'm still trying to figure out. Okay, go ahead.
So what we talked about earlier, y'all. Okay, we're gonna get into the meat of it. What we talked about earlier. What's up, people? Hey, Rod. Hey, Mike. What's up, brother? What we were talking about earlier, we wanted to go from a direction of understanding. I mean, we kind of started a little bit at the end, and we're gonna work our way to this, right? What we need as women. What we need as women from men, and I'm sure y'all hear this all the time, women need to feel safe. Women need that security. We need to know where we stand. We need to know who we are in your world, in your life. We need to know that we can depend on you. We need to know that we can trust you. And we need to know that you can take care of us. We need these things, and as a whole, I've seen little memes or whatever where they have a list of what men need or want, and they may have about 3 or 4 items, and then they have what women need or want, and it's this long list. It's this long list, or this big massive book about what women want and what women need, in this small little pamphlet about men. And I've come to understand in 51 years that men, technically, y'all are pretty simple at best. I don't mean simple-minded. I don't mean stupid. I mean pretty simple at best, which is why we can go with the big books and the small pamphlets and the small list and the long list. Because I truly believe that men require maybe 1 or 2 things, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Respect is on the top tier for you all. Respect, needing respect, wanting respect, having to be respected. I think it's and I've heard this: love, loyalty over love. Y'all stop me, help me out. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm glad. I'm glad to know what you guys need, like women need. I'm glad to know that. But here's the thing: I think that's missed. What does that look like, right? Because each person has that own thing, right? We can't blanket say women need this, right? But each woman may need something separate. Everybody has their own needs, right? So I think so. If it's not being met, I'm just taking a little slack off the men. If it's not being met, guess what? we don't know what that looks like. So I think there's a breakdown in communication where so that that's not really being explained precisely for that particular type of woman. What does that look like is my question.
I'm sorry, real quick. I hear your question.
Okay.
But I have to disagree. I have to disagree. And this is where I'm going to disagree. Every woman, I don't care who she is. I don't care if she up here, she down here, she in the middle. Every woman wants in a relationship regarding a man.
Okay.
Wants to know where she stands.
Okay. So right that point. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody has to explain to the person they're dealing with how that looks. Right. That may look different from you than Corey. Right.
Right.
So I hear what you're saying. Yes, everything you said, I do agree with what women need. I'm not disputing that. But my only thing is that there has, I think, in some cases, not all, some but all, that it's not actually being explained the way it needs for that particular person. Because it looks different. It's not the same.
Okay. I can agree. Corey, I can agree.
As different as we are, we may have different ideas of what that looks like.
Right.
That makes
sense.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely agreeable. That's definitely agreeable.
So there's a lot of miscommunication sometimes. That's part of it. All right. And that's everybody's fault. All right. But men too. We talking about men today.
Yeah. Cause where Kiana at? So she could get that plug because she the one took it a little bit right there last week. So I totally agree. Corey agrees, and I believe Cortland agrees. I think his mic is still on.
Yeah, my mic's still on. I'm reserving.
I got you. I definitely agree that looks different for different people. What Corey requires different from what I require. I understand that. That's what you're saying, right, Mark?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I think there are basic necessities. It's almost like food. We know we got to eat, right? What you eat is going to look different from each day, right?
Yeah.
But we know we all need food. So basically, you all need security, right? That's huge, right? That's a basic need, right? And so it's a basic need, and then what that looks like to you is the other part. Is all I'm trying to say. Because sometimes, and let me just say this: sometimes even in dating, what happens is in some cases, people like to think people know what it is they actually need, even on the first date. Right? They get upset if a guy or the girl does something that's not right, and then they get upset like, you supposed to know. No, I don't know what you expect. Somebody else may expect differently. So that falls in the same line. Just wanted to give that example.
Yeah, it does. And I think I realize. So what we have to do is we gonna walk to this thing, because what you're saying, Mark, is a little bit further down the line in this conversation.
Right.
It's a little bit further down the line in the conversation, but I hear what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. We agree with what you're saying. It's definitely different for each, but this is the basis of how we start now. This is the basis of what we're saying. You all as men have heard it. It may have been taught to you. You may have just learned it in watching your fathers, your uncles, men in front of you, ahead of you, who have taken care of mom or taken care of the family network, and y'all have seen it. And in society, I believe society speaks highly of what men's roles are and what men should be doing as far as their women and their families are concerned. I don't necessarily get specifically into gender roles, so to speak, but in all actuality, there are some roles that are gender based. Now, again, that can be individually what you think in your house. For me personally, if a man is in my car, I don't pump gas. That's from my teenage nephew all the way up. I'm what? Taking out the trash. Now, it's not that I can't do it. But again, that comes down to that being specific, more specific to what you were saying, Mark. But on a whole, if we kind of give a generalization to the female the female realm, it's not too far-fetched to say that we're all looking for the same basic thing. But of course, how you're raised, what you've been taught, what you've experienced is going to speak for how that looks for you. Courtland, you too quiet.
Well, because this is entitled "Men Is Your Fault," I'm trying to figure out in what both of y'all have said. I'm gonna be controversial today. I'm gonna poke some bears. I'm trying to figure out in what both of y'all said where the fault lies with us.
Okay. That's
where the fault lies with us, and everything that you said, because Mark just said something which is technically what I was already thinking, and you agreed with him. So if you agree with him, where's the fault lie with us as men? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
The thing that I was thinking that Mark was saying was like, a lot of times women talk about how great of communicators they are, but if you don't read their mind, then you're not a good communicator as a man. But I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what you're asking me to do, but you're assuming that I'm supposed to know something already. So where is it my fault? So I'm gonna poke the bear. Let's get into it.
Okay, poke the bear. Because we started at the beginning where the line, how everybody line up and get ready to go with the race. We all started at the same point.
Okay.
But I just have to say, the two male persuasions, y'all already like at the 50-yard line, and we like, wait a minute, can we walk this?
Y'all playing chess, we playing checkers, we jumping over y'all.
King me.
Please believe. She and I don't know what she's showing on y'all screen, but she's to my right. She and I are going to let y'all know where we feel y'all are at fault. But what like
Mark said, hey, I don't want to be unpolitically correct, so I'm not going to talk about Thanksgiving, but take the gloves off. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Corey, you raised your hand for a second. Was that what were you interjecting? Would you have something to say on that, sis?
He didn't say anything that was anyone's fault. He said that we all have different ideas and perspectives on what we want. That's just a human thing. I don't see how that's anybody's fault. That's not about mind reading to me.
Right. But inside of a relationship, if I don't read your mind correctly and what you're thinking it is that you want me to do, and something you want me to move on as a man, that is my fault. And I'm trying to figure out, like, where did I go wrong there? Like, what you know what I'm saying? Like, what did I do in that particular instance that made it my fault? Because I did not understand what you were trying to communicate to me subliminally.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So back up a little bit, fellas. Back up a little bit.
Okay.
Because
I was go in.
Please, come on.
Yeah, okay. They're ready.
Guess what? Hey, but guess what? This is a great learning moment. You know why? Because you said something in the beginning where you said we're simple, right? Simple to us is problem, solution. You guys are problem.
Yes.
Skipping along the way with your red basket like Little Red Riding Hood, right? Right? We trying to get problem, solution. That's why we move in. We playing checkers. I told y'all.
I get that. But this last week we walked this thing. So this week we gonna walk this thing.
We gonna walk it. We gonna
walk this thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like I came out the gut smoking last week, but
let me give you an example. Somebody just put, while we're reading minds, adults are grown and should not be mind reading. Let's just talk so nothing can be misread. Here's the issue.
Okay.
And you guys have probably seen this before on social media. It'll say I told my husband to put the chicken on the stove. The picture has a chicken literally sitting on the stove. We gotta just like put out the pieces like a manual. Take the chicken out of the oven. Please season it with this. But the thing is, y'all seen us do it before. Y'all done it with us. You asked us for the recipe for your mom, and we give it to you. You say this is exactly how I like it. So why are we going back and explaining it? You know, every Thursday the trash comes out. You've done it for the past 10 years. How come when I come downstairs it's not done, and you say you didn't tell me to take the trash out? But you've done it for the last 10 years, every Thursday. 52 weeks? You've done the same thing. Why do I gotta tell you this time? That's what I mean. That's
if you pass by it though, you couldn't take it out.
It's not reading your mind. What'd you say?
I said if you pass by it, yes I did. If you pass by it, why you couldn't take it out?
Because you're the man and that's your job. As Donna said before, I'm gonna circle back around. Some of us are cool with these gender roles. If the trash is there and you've done it every day and you're not incapacitated like you're sick, because you know when y'all are sick, y'all are just babies. When you're sick, if you're not sick, sure, I got it. I'll manage all of this. But ain't nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong. And that wasn't the question why I didn't take out the question. The issue was if it's done succinctly, repeatedly, with fidelity, and it wasn't done this time, why you act like you didn't know it was something you do?
So what you're saying is,
what I'm saying is it's your fault.
Saying is, right? What you're saying is, you don't want to feel like you up there raising another child.
That's not what you say. I was slurping. What you say?
Said I said what you see you were slurping.
Wow.
What you're saying is, wait a minute, are you listening? Do I have your attention?
I'm looking at you.
What you're saying is, what you're saying is you don't want to feel like you up there raising a whole nother.
I didn't say that. I just said because you're a man, you're not a child. I just said the example you gave. And what I was reading here about mind reading, and we do talk, we do communicate. It's like we say one thing and y'all hear something different. We're assuming that because we're talking to you in the same language and all that stuff that you guys get it, but sometimes it doesn't translate. So
okay, so look,
it's your fault.
this.
I'm sorry, Chandri said because you not folding clothes, cleaning the house. If we got roles, do your part. Shouldn't have to be asked.
Miss Chandri, I fold clothes.
I
don't get into those type of comments. I'm sorry about the general. I do believe in them, but you know, I let people.
Look. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was gonna say. Okay, so let me take a little heat off the conversation. Then let me jump in y'all basket for a second. It's our fault because men, we're not the best communicators. How about that? All right, I just gave y'all one. All right, y'all went all the way around the bush to say what we don't do, point fingers, and take the clothes out the trash, and the trash do it. Look, just simply I think it would have been easier if we would just said, guys don't communicate. That's our fault. But y'all want to throw all the little monkey wrenches in.
But wait. When we started out, I said that men are simple, right? Do we all agree with that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if men are simple, and I made the example.
I'm just messing with you, Miss Chandri.
And I made the example of the list and things like that. That means as women, we are a bit more complicated. If we want to take the simple to the which means the way y'all started out last week, y'all came out with guns drawn, and y'all was like, bam, bam, bam. Let's just get it. Let's go. Our guns are coming out a little bit slower. You know why? Our guns are coming out a little bit slower because if we come out like that, guess what? Oh, Corey, your mic is out. Corey, your mic is out. Corey, can't hear you.
We're aggressive, masculine, all of that.
Oh, so if we.
But how is that our fault though?
Guess what we're doing? Y'all know what? You know what? I'm gonna say. Let's take a commercial break. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you what's going on. We actually showing leadership now. Because y'all doing a lot of talking, we just listening. So y'all
but
go ahead and
but
continue what y'all doing.
but are, are you listening to respond, or are you listening to understand?
I'm trying to
There's
understand where we
Both.
going.
there's a difference.
Problem solution.
Okay, so this is where we going. This is where we going. Corey, we just gonna go ahead and jump in out our basket
Go ahead.
and jump on their court. How about that? We go,
Okay.
Corey. We just gonna do that. So when we're talking about men is your fault, let's talk about leadership. Mark made a point. Leading, right?
Right.
Leadership. As a man, what we hear all the time is, "I'm the man. Let me lead. I'm the man. Let me do. I'm the man. Let me decide." Right? So when we do that and we put ourselves in a position, not all but some, what how you say it, Mark?
Some but all.
Some but all.
Some but not all.
Some but not all. Some but all. Some but all of us. Some but us. I can't even get it. Some of us. Not all but some. Not all but some. When they take that time to turn that over to that man that's saying, "I'm the man and I'm going to lead and I'm going this and I'm going that," and things go a different way or they go a certain way, they don't necessarily go the right way. The expectation is for us to still sit in that and say, "It's okay, baby. Try again. I have nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with that. But this is what happens. This is what happens." And Corey made a good, valid point. Sometimes we have to realize, based on who we're dealing with and who we with, we have to realize, of course, all the time, how these people operate. We got to learn how we operate. The individual, that's the process of learning one another and getting to know one another and building a relationship. We have to know how we operate. But some men get offended. Some men, they jump on the defense. They want to tell you what you not going to do. They're going to tell you how you being this and how you being that. So when we talk about men is your fault, there are times I really feel like there's a way that my man should speak to me way different than he speaks to at work, to the kids, when he hanging with the fellas. There should be a consideration of, this is my lady, and when I speak to her, even if I'm mad, even if she got me, woo, I need to speak to her in a manner where she knows that I respect her, I love her, I appreciate her, but this is just not going to work right now. But I need to tell you how this feels and how this is going to. Y'all following what I'm saying? So go ahead, Mark.
I'm listening. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm being a leader right now.
So leadership, men are expected to lead. Men are looked at to lead. When we as women do not feel like we're in a place where we can follow that leadership, it's y'all's fault. And it's y'all's fault because if the head is going this way and that way, what is the tail going to do? The tail is going to follow the head. So whether the head goes straight down or the head goes up or whatever, the rear is going to follow that. So if things
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What is it then that or why is it then that you feel so many men are lacking in this department of leadership when it comes to relationships? What is it that is causing us inherently to not be able to go to think that we're false leaders? Basically, we go into a relationship and we want all the titles that men are supposed to have, but when it comes to the actual job, we don't have the necessary tools to get it done. Why is that?
I'm glad you asked that question. I was hoping that question was coming. I didn't want to pull the question, But I was hoping that question was coming, and I'm glad it came from who it should have came from. Corey, you got anything on that?
No.
Okay. Okay.
We'll hear someone else's perspective on that.
Okay.
That's more so geared toward a woman, I think. It sounds like.
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
because y'all are the ones that
I think we hear what y'all are saying. I think that we're giving solutions to what y'all are saying. I do believe that there is a fault that we have. Like you say, if you feel like there's a lack of leadership, there are certain things we can definitely say that causes us to lack that. Okay, now all stuff aside, I think because we don't know, we do make false moves. We don't really know how to show leadership, but I can definitely say that some of us just don't know how to. We just don't know for whatever reason. I'm not using it as an excuse, but that's just what it is. I think that's why it's important for women to lock in with someone who they feel that can be presented to. So that's a whole other subject. But I think there are certain things that some men just don't know.
So this is my answer.
Well, Colin, I want to
go ahead.
repeat your question for me, just in short. Repeat your question.
Why are some men lacking the leadership qualities that they so boldly want to show off that they don't have?
So, okay, I'm going to say role models. Boil it down to that, role models. Whether it's role models in practice, whether it's not having a role model in the home, whether it's following like self-affirming role models who aren't being positive. Like my students have mentioned Andrew Tate with things and they laugh about it. And I'm like, and this one boy said, yeah, my brother, he acts just like him. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And he's looking up to his brother who's looking up to Andrew Tate. Where they're following someone. There is a role model, but they're saying what this person needs to hear to feel good about themselves. And for me to feel good about myself, I need to know that I am this person who can dog walk women. So you have a role model, but it's not a good one. And so those are some examples of role models that are not exactly the ones that people follow, but that's what they have, or that's what they follow because it's popular, or they say something catchy and it made me giggle. So I like that person. They tell it like it is. And the lack of practice. Sometimes you have to be in a position of leadership at some point in some way to actually be a leader, a good one at that. So if you're not learning something from your leadership, or you haven't had the opportunity to be a leader, you're not going to be.
Right. Yeah. And I honestly think
Michelle on Facebook said they don't have an example of that type of leadership. Ron on YouTube said because they haven't been properly taught, you can't be what you don't know how to be.
That's what I said when I said earlier, when I said some people just don't know. They don't have the skill, they don't have the practice, the role model, the examples of what that needs to look like. So
right.
And I think it ultimately breaks down like this. 9 times out of 10, a female has her mom a majority of her life, who is teaching her how to be a woman in some aspects. Some men don't have their father in their lives, and if their father is in their life, he is not being a male role model that he should be to teach this young man how to properly be a man, how to be a leader, how to move, you know what I'm saying, how to do things how a man should. So now this young man gets into high school where he's taught by other young boys who are basically all about, I don't want to be vulgar here, but getting sex, you know what I'm saying? So they're not moving how men should be moving. And now once you get out of high school, now, especially in this day and age, you got the social media era that's telling us to berate, belittle, and dog women out. But before you had that, I don't want to go there, but you had rap music calling women tricks and hoes. You know what I'm saying? Degrading our women. So, you know, a lot of times when you're listening to all these other voices that are teaching you how not to be around women, and yeah, a woman's supposed to listen to you, but you're supposed to put your foot down, but it doesn't tell you why you should put your foot down or why a woman should be listening to you and what type of decisions you should be or what kind of moves you should be making. It just says, hey, this is what you're supposed to do, but I'm not going to teach you none of that stuff. So that's what society is teaching us, and that's why it's so important for the male to be in the home, because it's hard for a woman to teach a boy how to be a man.
No,
It,
can I on that point? Because
yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm just gonna magnify what you just said, because I don't care what anybody says. A woman cannot raise a man. It is impossible.
She can influence.
She can influence. She can influence, but there's no way that I can tell my nephew what it feels like and what certain things feel like. And he already know. He already know how auntie is. But I can't tell him what it feels like when he has an erection. I can't tell him how to deal with that. And we have to understand that there are things, this is real. We on real life relationship growth. These are things that we cannot teach them, no matter how much we try. Mark said it. You can influence, but you can't teach them. I was going to say that, Cortland, before you kind of got started, but when you said it, I just had to kind of magnify on it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, well, just piggybacking off your nephew, my little cousin. If he's around me and he's talking about women in a certain way, and I don't correct him, guess what he do when he gets around women? He gonna think that that's okay behavior to give to them. And then when he becomes an adult, and then also if he sees me treating women a certain type of a way, if he sees me treating women a certain type of a way, then he's gonna think that's okay for him to treat women a certain type of way, because he's looking at me as a role model and as an example. So it's up to me to give guidance, right? So that's one of the reasons why men is your fault, because it goes back. It goes back not just in this one singular moment, but it goes back to daddy. It goes back to granddaddy. It goes back to great granddaddy. It goes back so far we can't, and that's a whole nother subject to get into. But I think Kevin was saying something. Kevin here. All right, what up, Kevin? Women want men to lead, but only if it defines under her definition. Two dominant personalities won't coexist. Woo! So I'm gonna say this. I agree with Kevin, but I disagree with Kevin. I agree with Kevin because sometimes you do have women that want a man to lead under her definition of what she feels like leadership is or what it looks like to her, right? I disagree with you can't have two dominant personalities, because I honestly feel like, you know what? I'm here to stir the pot. All women want to be buck broken. All women want to be buck broken.
Want to be what?
Buck broken. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All women want to be to a place to where I was once wild, but this person came into my life and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let you have it. Cause I just want to sit back and kind of go along for the ride. So that's because you know how like a wild horse, they call that a buck. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? When you break a buck, that buck is kind of tame. I know y'all like them buzzwords, but I want to stir the pot a little bit. So that's the only reason I'm using those words.
I'm not concerned with your buzzwords. I get your point in what you're saying. I get your point in what you're saying. Let me go back real quick for a second with what Kevin said. Women want men to lead, but only if it's defined under her definition. I always say this: we live what we learn. We live what we learn. If you grow up in a household where your mother was the dominant figure, she was the dominant. What mom said is what went. When mom spoke, which is in most households, when mom speaks, everybody's going, daddy, go listen to your mama. What your mama say, But in the aspect of it where the woman was the dominant figure and the dad was kind of docile, he didn't say a lot or whatever. She's going to do what she knew to do, what she learned to do, how she saw how things went. So I'm just gonna say this on this point. Understand your woman. Understand if she requires you to do things her way, get an understanding of why she's looking for you to do it that way. But then I'm gonna roll right into what Cortland said. I'm gonna roll right into your little catchphrase, your little words that you use, whatever. I'm not concerned with that. The point of what you said, I totally agree with. I totally agree. Let me tell you why I agree.
Okay.
Even though Mama was dominant, and she pretty much led out in the household where I thought, right? And I'm living what I learned. When I get with a man who is showing me leadership in a sense of I feel like, so let me say this, because y'all know I like to be transparent. It don't matter to me. I'm with a gentleman now, and I say to him, you give me a soft place to land. Let me be honest with y'all. Never had a soft place to land. Never had a reason to take off this cape. I mean, I still wear it in its place. Never had a reason to take it off. Never had a reason to not lead. Never had a reason, not even necessarily just a reason, but never was afforded the opportunity to be like, here.
Excuse me.
I don't want to take it. I don't want to do it. So in that aspect, Cortland, I agree with you. I think all women, and this goes in line of us wanting safety and security,
Protection,
and protection,
provision.
all of those things. All of those things. I think that falls in line with that. Now I can be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I just kind of want to touch on the comment about dominant women. I mean, even I don't really think for me, like I said this before. Yes, there are some women that just as men that are not workable for whatever reason. But I can't say that there's enough women to make me believe that there's no way or most women are going to be dominant. I feel that if there is a sign of aggression or dominance in a woman, it is up to a man to be able to get her in a space where she can at least listen. Yeah. Now, how you do that is a smile, a comment, etc. Now, if that don't work, get the hell on. she might not be workable. But what I'm saying to you is that I think sometimes we allow our vision to see things that aren't really there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just because a woman dressed nice and has a nice car and has a nice house, etc., she still needs you, right? She needs someone. She needs someone to listen to. She needs someone to say, "Hey, what direction would you like?" Little do you think, it's a lot of women, even that has their own whatever that is, right? Who has that masculine energy, as we say. I don't, as we say, the masculine energy. I can definitely say she wants to lay it down at your feet, right? And you have to be a leader enough to know one. I always say this: know your. Okay, look. Everybody said, I hear this a lot, but I'm gonna say it this way: know your value as a man. Know your value. But I'm gonna say it in this perspective: know your value, knowing that you will have a woman that she's gonna nourish you with it, right? So the value to her is to grow it, right? Whatever that is, right? That's one. Also, learning how to listen, and sometimes you may have to follow, because listen, here's the thing: even leaders at some point has to listen to someone, right? And I think as men, we don't really listen, right? What we do is we go on our own understanding and say, "Woman, you don't know what you're talking about." It's okay to listen. It's okay to follow, because even the president of the United States has to follow the Secret Service when they say, "Go here, move there, go that way." He's the president. But guess what? Someone has to lead the president at a certain point. So you, as being the president of that relationship, need to understand that she definitely needs you regardless of what she looks like. And those who don't get it, guess what? They'll get it. They'll get it when it's time
Yeah.
to get that kitty litter down at the local pet store shop. Okay. Then we'll be on sale with the coupon. So
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
think
Corey, because I know you had something.
I think that all tied in. I want to get a comment if I can, Corey, before you go, or do you want to?
You
follow?
actually said you already. I mean, you kind of said what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that what Mark said and what Cortland said just tied in. I really believe it just tied in. So Mike has a question. My brother from another mother. Hey, Mike. Mike said, "What makes the woman dominant in a relationship when a father is there?"
Oh, I think you said it best when you
What?
talked about having on the cape. So I think what happens sometimes is I don't think men necessarily have a problem with a woman having a cape on. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes we might even enjoy that. But I think what happens is that a lot of times that man doesn't necessarily put on his cape, so he don't match the energy. You know what I mean? So he's not coming in as Superman while you're already Superwoman. So what happens is he comes into the relationship and he feels like, well, as long as I work and I come home and I pay the bills, then I don't need to deal with nothing else. So he's present, but he's not showing up. He's not showing up in the child's life. He's not showing up making decisions because she'd be like, you know what I'm saying? She'll like, okay, I want you to plan us a date. It's like, just tell me where you want to go. Or I
That
want
is
you
what
to
I said. Yeah.
yeah, I want you to plan us a trip, or I want you to like look, woman, I'm the man. I bring home the bacon. Okay, I need more than that though.
Yeah.
I need more than
Yeah.
that. So I
I
think
like that.
in that situation, that's where a woman feels like she kind of has to be dominant because she's making all the decisions outside of the financial ones, and maybe even the
I like
financial
that.
ones, because all he's doing is bringing the check home.
I like that. Because I'm gonna
But
answer I'm
yeah.
gonna answer that question as a woman. What makes a woman dominant in a relationship when a father is there? There is something, sir, you are not doing.
Yeah, I was going to
There
say.
is something
I was
you
going to
are
say it.
not doing. And again, back to the beginning, what Mark said, you got to tell me what you need. But how many times do you tell this brother what Corey said, what you need, and he knows what should be done, but he's not making the effort. He's not putting into that. He's like, okay, well, I bought her flowers a month ago. She smiled. So I'm good for the rest of the month. But yet she's being aggressive. She's being dominant. Like, so that just means that I think somebody just answered it real nice. I just
But that
glanced.
segues into Kevin's question, what you're saying right now, Donna. So if you
Uh-huh.
read Kevin's question, like it says Kevin again. If you read what he says, that segues exactly what you were just saying about how, like,
Can I jump in really quickly too?
Mm-mm.
Another reason is I think we're throwing around these words: dominant, feminism, submissive,
Mm-hmm.
and
masculine.
masculine. All of these words, just because narcissism, just because they are the words right now. But
buzzwords.
honestly, if a woman if a person is saying, "Oh, she's dominant and she's got a father in her life," it could be that her dad has set a standard. You know how they say that women marry men like their dads and men marry women or want women like their mothers? They're talking about the attributes. And we know this. They're talking about attributes.
Right.
If my dad is a great man and then I meet Johnny, and Johnny's not exactly a great man, but I like him. He's got some great things. He's just not as great as my dad. He's not my dad. He won't be my dad. But I'll have to take some control in those areas that he's not doing. You know, maybe he's not the kind of throw it from your shoulder kind of guy. So we walk down the street, you know, I'm more the lookout than he is and making sure we're safe and keeping an eye on things. Not that that's what I want my position to be, but she
Right.
may seem dominant to a man who is just not her standard. And I think that actually goes back to somebody else said something about women wanting to lead if it's defined under her definition. It's not
Mhm.
that's really it's some women, yes.
So
But I think
yes.
that's a blanket statement women want. So that would be incorrect because not all. Some but not
Right.
all, right?
Yeah, but yeah, they do it out of fear, right? I understand it's a fear mechanism. I think sometimes it creates a cycle when some women have to continually hold, tote the note, tote the note, tote the note. And at some point, even if they have somebody with them, it's just hardwired into their brain that they should be able to do it because they feel that if they don't do it, it may fall apart.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Michelle.
They may fall apart, and so they're gonna have that particular type of attitude or type of aggression, and I got it, move out the way. I still think, knowing that, let's back up. Knowing that starts from dating
Yeah.
anyway,
Right.
right? So we should be able to see this well
Mm-hmm.
before we start taking people to, wherever y'all take them to. So let's just say, for instance, one slips through the cracks. Then let's just say that one slips through the cracks. So this one slips through the crack, and this one is a little bit more aggressive than she should be. I think that there is a order where so that again, don't reflect what she's reflecting. Be the stabilizer in a situation where say, hey, babe, I understand you feel da 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 da, right? Let me take this off your shoulder, right?
Mhm.
Now, if she, at some point, if she resisted as you being able to lay it to her without aggression, at some point, then it's time to move on. It's just that simple. Save yourself a whole lot of time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can I read this question Kevin put up?
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
right, so Kevin said, Kevin here again. What is learned can be unlearned. Sometimes that was passed down doesn't mean that it was right. As we evolve, so should our behavior. There's plenty of positive examples for men and women to emulate. It's up to that individual to put in that work to be that leader or submissive wife. Okay, so I really don't like to get into the submissive wife thing because that goes a little bit deeper. Now we're going into like biblical terms. And I think a lot of people take the submissive wife situation and think of it as a worldly thing, and it's not the same.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
but I am going to say this because Kevin said something. What is learned can be unlearned, and I think that's what you were talking about, DJ. As far as like, if you know something has to happen, why aren't you doing it? The problem is, as adults, we don't like to get out of our own way. So yeah,
Right.
we can unlearn it, but we got too much pride. We too
Mm.
macho. We don't want to unlearn it. You know what I'm saying? We want to stay right stuck in the same place and expect you to conform to our stubbornness that we already have. So
Your
now
fault.
that put yeah, exactly. So now that puts you in a place of having to, like, the buzzword of the night, be more dominant because I'm not
Mm.
willing to change, even though I told you I got this, even though
Mm.
I told you I'm the man, even though I told you, look, stop looking over my shoulder, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna
Mm.
do 3 weeks ago. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? Oh, I just forgot. Okay, you just forgot, but you said you was gonna get it done. I tried to step back and not bother you about it, but as soon as I say something, you're gonna say I'm nagging you. You know
There
what
you
I'm saying?
go.
Why? Because we are refusing to make the changes that Kevin said. What is learned can be unlearned, but you got to be willing to make that change. You got to be willing to say, okay, you know what? Like Mark said, one of the things Mark said, I'm gonna let you go, Mark, because I see you biting at biting at the bit. One of the things one of the things that Mark said, and that he was hitting on was basically that if you are in a situation and you see that your woman is here, you don't have to meet her here. You can talk to her here and allow her to come back down here. Because if you try to meet her way up here, all y'all going to be doing is talking at each other, and ain't nobody going to learn nothing. But if you are
Mm.
here and you have that voice of reason and that voice of calm, eventually she going to come on down. I had to learn that. I was like, oh snap, this is so much better than trying to compete in an
It's the
argument with
art.
her.
Yeah, it's an art. It's like a Jedi mind trick art. You know what I mean? It is. It is. It's called balance, and that's why I want to say. Only thing about it is, I'm just gonna be honest. Like it ain't. It's everything. Everything isn't meant for everybody, even to a point of understanding how to get out of their own way. We
Right.
listen. Life is about balance. As negative energy, there's positive energy. There's people who know. There's going to be people who don't know. Right? It's just what it is. Right. So some people are meant to be where they are. Right. I think they have the potential to be more, but some people just going to be where they are. Right. So we just have to just understand that. Right. It's not meant for everybody to get it. If everybody get it, we want to learn nothing.
Right.
Right. So that's all I really want to say. I want to say that it's not meant for everybody, and those that are for you, then those are the ones you invest in. It's that easy, but we cannot blanket a whole group of people, men or women, by saying women are this and men are this. There are so many positive qualities about both sides, y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Most definitely.
we
And
get
you
it.
take that
We
time.
get it.
You take that time, like you
Right.
said, with that one. And and reality is everybody is not that one. It is very possible that you've invested some time into someone. And in investing that time, you're learning things about them. You're learning what works for you and what does not work for you. I always say, look, people think sometimes, a lot of times when you hear somebody broke up, somebody got divorced, what's the first thing we say? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
What do you do?
because it's his fault. But
Right.
oh, I'm sorry, or whatever. But it's not always
Oh,
something.
you free, girl? All right.
It's not always something that's a sad occasion or something to say sorry for. It just may be that we just weren't meant to be together. And that's okay.
Right.
But that happens in the process
Right.
of getting to know each other.
Right.
And knowing what
Right. And some people that may be adverse to what you're trying to do in life, take it as a way to sharpen your skills, right? The more and more people you come across, right, that's not for you, that's going to be in your way, take that as a way to sharpen your skills, to get you better, because you need stuff like that, right? You need somebody to bring some bullshit into your situation so you know how to avoid the next bullshit, right?
Yeah.
You build on that. So then it's going to be something else with the next person. And you learn that, and then you build on that until you eventually you're going to get to one thing that's going to happen is your perception is going to change, right? So then when your perception changes, guess what happens then? You're going to draw you're going to draw people in that's going to be for you by you changing your projection, right? So every time somebody does something for you, take that, sharpen yourself, next person sharpen. Eventually your perception is going to change and you're going to draw out the things that you want.
Right. I think I wrote this statement real quick. I wrote this statement years ago, and I said that every woman is a lock and every man is a key. Every key ain't meant to fit every lock, and every lock is not meant to have every key. And I think that is relatable to a lot of things. Sometimes we try to fit with people we're not supposed to be with.
Well,
right.
Jackson Michael said, change behavior is a choice, and surely we all want to be loved as we are and respected as we are. Accept the person or don't waste time.
Say that.
That's good.
Hey, you know what? And I like the word choice. You know what? Choice means you do or you don't.
That's right.
You do or you don't. So some people might not don't.
Right.
Yeah. And I think too many times, since we're talking about men, it's your fault. I think, and I'm guilty of this, I think too many times we as men walk into a situation automatically trying to change that woman, trying to change her from the way that she walks, trying to change her from the way that she dressed, trying to change her from the way that she talked, trying to change her from, you know what I'm saying, who she hang out with, trying to change her from, you know what I'm saying, the type. Like if she just like to wear a t-shirt and jeans every day, nah, you got to dress like them girls on the video, or hey, my Instagram feed, because it's all a comparative nature. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to make this woman something that she's not. So we're not even accepting this person as they
Yeah.
are. And now that's already making the relationship hard because we're putting expectations on them that they don't even know about. So they
Mm.
already losing right out the gate. So now
Wow.
they trying to love us or like us where we at, but we don't even see them how they are because we looking for something else. Because we on the Instagram feed comparing. You know what I'm saying? Like, why my girl don't have her butt out like this? Dad, don't it? You know what I mean? So most of the time she doing it for the gram. She not doing that at the house. So like I think that is a lot about just, you know, we have to learn how to accept y'all where y'all are at, and we have to be, you know, okay, this is who she is, but is there room for growth? You know, I'm not trying to change you, but are you comfortable where you're at, or are you trying to expand? You know what I'm saying? So like that is the question, because I don't want to be with nobody that's comfortable where they at, because hold on, I'm about to mess this word up. Your expansion is gonna help my expansion, because I'm be like, hold up, wait a minute, let me catch up. You moving? You know what I'm saying? So, but there's too many men who were comfortable being mediocre. While she's expanded, I'm just gonna ride this train. Let me get back in the cab seat and just sit down and ride while she up
Come
there in the
on last
caboose.
week. Come on last
What is
week.
she doing? Now she's being in the role that we saying that we want to be in. I mean, not the caboose, because that's the back. But what do you call the thing in the front in the train? Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. The engine. You know what I'm saying? She's shoveling the coal, putting it in the engine, making it go, and we just sitting there in the cabs as the train goes on. That's not the role. We supposed to be shoveling the coal. I said the caboose, but the caboose is in the back. Y'all see what my mind is at. Stop it.
Who's in the back? Colin, I like that. That was
his mind is on the caboose.
Yeah, somebody got it. Thank you. Hey, I hate to see you leave, but I'll watch you walk away.
Ain't nothing like a nice caboose.
Right.
Oh man.
Like two African drums. Amen. Yeah. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Bungo got Earth, Wind, and Fire right there.
Exactly.
Wait a minute, Corey, look. Stop.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the move.
Yeah.
Hey,
women are great roles.
I want to talk about this thing that Corey brought up in the beginning when she was shooting bullets at us. She talked about protection. She talked about putting up posts, and she talked about being single over 40. So please tell me, what are we doing as men to make it our fault that y'all aren't feeling protected? Y'all got to put up posts, and I'm assuming that's on Facebook, social media. You know what I'm saying? And y'all are single over 40. What are we doing? Talk to us.
So I told Donna about this. I hope you all have seen it. I could not find this clip to save my life. I don't remember if it was DL Hughley posted it, but there's a clip, and it's a podcast, and there's a woman. She is definitely not white, but she is not black either. She may be of the diaspora. I don't know. But she says...
Can you use kid terms, please? Give me layman's term. Break that down.
Oh, diaspora, the African diaspora is basically...
It's not for me, it's for the people in the chat.
Oh, sorry. Diaspora, people of African origin across the country. So if you ever see the red, black, and green flag, that's supposed to represent Black people, whether you're in Haiti or the US or Africa or Europe, any Black person anywhere.
Okay, now it's coming back to them. It's coming back to them. They get it. They remember now. Go ahead.
But anyway, she says, well, the most beautiful women is Black women. They have the most beautiful bodies and some of the most beautiful faces. I mean, they could be a little softer, but they're the most beautiful. They could be winning. And the the people that it's their podcast, from what I saw, it was like these two Black men. And the one says, why do you think they're not soft? She said, well, I can't say because I'm not a Black woman. Did you see this one?
No, but I think you're talking about Hardly Initiated.
I don't know. I just know she was like, I don't know. I'm not a Black woman. I can't say, but they could be winning. Other women are winning, and that's why they're going to other women. But other women are winning because Black women are not as soft. There were several things wrong with it. But the whole time, the one black guy was like, "Oh, drop the mic. You said that. You drop the mic. That's right." Never stood up for black women,
Mm.
ever. Part of the thing is you're looking at the result. You're not looking at the cause. And it's not to say that all black women are these hard people. We're
Right.
not.
Right.
But if I am moving through the world by myself as a single woman, like I said last week, I got to be the lookout. I got to be my own security, my own bodyguard. I got to map out where I'm going, when I'm getting back, where I'm going to park. Am I going to park under a light? And what city am I in? Can I wear certain colors or not? Like, should I carry my purse? Should I not? All of these questions I have to ask for myself. So you think that when you approach me walking down the street, I'm going to be like, "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah.
No, what you want? Why are you in my face? What are you doing? Look at where you are. I wasn't going to share a story, but I don't know if I should share it.
Was that a moment?
Right.
I was
It
like,
felt like it.
No,
Like, this
because I
happened
was
yesterday.
thinking about. I'm going to share the story. I used to be a firefighter. And at the fire station, the way you went into our fire station, you had to kind of go behind it. And there was one light in the parking lot. It's very dark. I was going to the fire company. That was my fire station. I was going in. There was a car that pulled up. I never recognized. It wasn't a member's. He got out. "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm good." And he was like, "What's going on? Let me talk to you." No. We're in a dark parking lot. You're not going to talk to me.
right.
So he continues to walk toward me. And I'm like, "Sir, stay where you are. You are not safe. Don't this is not the place." He didn't believe me. He kept walking. He had no idea that I was carrying at that time. He had no idea. That was not the place to approach me. Later on, he was like, "Oh, you was coming off like all strong." No, I'm trying to puff myself up so that you say, "Wait a minute, she's uncomfortable. Let me back up."
Right.
We are in these situations and no one is thinking to protect us.
Yep.
No one is thinking to care for us. And that's when we're called aggressive. That's when we're called masculine. That's when we're called tough. That's when we're called hard. That's not who we are all the time. In these situations where we have to be, we will, because it's just us. Because y'all aren't walking with us. Y'all walking with the blonde hair chick across the street, the natural blonde across the street. Y'all not checking for us. Do you remember the black man who got killed by his blonde girlfriend? Y'all remember her?
Blind? You said
Blonde.
blind?
Blonde.
Oh, blonde.
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 She's
I'm
from
like,
the
he-
Wahite. She was from
I'm
the
like, he should have seen
Wahite
that.
tribe. She was from the Wahite tribe. And her people, his people were like, we just want black people to support. And he had all these statements on his social media dogging black women. But his family wanted the support specifically of black women because we always push movements. We look out for y'all all the time, but no one's protecting us. And then we're not soft enough.
Sound like Jonathan Majors.
Okay, so
There
let me
you go.
ask you a question, Corey. Corey, let me ask you a question. Are you tired?
No, what's up?
Are you tired?
No.
What I mean, I'm just asking you, like, just like, are you like everything that you explained in your? Because I think originally that was a great. Like, I agree with what you're saying 1,000%. But here's the other side. I think that he was asking you more so from your. I understand you've described what you see, but let's talk about you, right, for a second. Like, so, do you feel like you're, are you everything that you've experienced when it comes to all that? Are you tired? Are you open to it? I hear you, but I just want to know, like, are you tired? Where are you when it comes to all of that? What you just explained, because that's deep. Because I would feel a certain kind of way, right? If I said I saw blah 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 in the passage for what you speak, right? So I'm asking you, how do you truly feel about all
first
this?
of all, I'm annoyed. But to be fair, I speak like that passionately about a lot of stuff. My degree is in history, and I love us as a people. And honestly, the underlying thing I see is more of a thing with our people, and I don't like that. Am I tired of seeing this? Absolutely. Am I tired of all the stuff being put on black women? Absolutely. But also,
so you're annoyed.
Absolutely.
So
but I'm also looking at this in a different lens. I'm looking at this thing historically and politically. Right now, we are on our way, if we are not there already, to becoming a permanent underclass in this country. And these petty conversations by the small group of us that's being magnified across the world, it's
Mm-hmm.
what's helping us get there. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of it. I gotta say something.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say something. So
Mhm.
it's you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, but I don't. But here's the thing, and it's. I think it's good to be aware, but I don't think it's. I don't think that we should allow it to consume our own perception. I'm not saying that's what you're
mhm,
doing, but what I'm saying is that awareness is
mhm.
great, but once it start seeping into your perception, you ain't doing nothing but holding yourself back, like I was just talking about earlier, right? And I actually, you said you were annoyed. Okay, I understand you
Mhm,
know it, but this one other question, as far as a relationship,
mhm.
right? Are do being that you're annoyed, do you feel that you are open for a relationship to a point where if whatever you need, you can see it due to your annoyance? Can you see
You're
it?
saying, can I see the potential of
Everything
relationship?
you, or can you,
Can I
can you,
move that out
not,
the
can
way
you,
to get into a
oh,
relationship? Of
Right.
yeah, right. Can you
course.
move it? Right. Like, is it blocking your vision of someone who may be genuine? How about
No, but
that?
here's my
Because,
thing. The mere fact
okay,
that you asked that
okay,
question and framed it because I'm passionate about something, now I got more
uh,
questions. Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost
okay,
like I can't be
right.
passionate or I can't have
Right. Right.
relationships.
Right.
I'm
Right.
passionate
No,
about.
Right.
no. I wasn't insinuate that. I was just asking that because what happens is, yes, we're having
Mhm,
dialogue, and I understand what you're saying, but sometimes what it is that it's all right for me to frame it that way because you have people that's actually watching
mhm.
that may feel that
Right.
way. So when I ask you that
Right.
Okay.
question, then I can say, yes, you're annoyed,
Right.
Uh-huh.
right? So what are you doing to make sure it's not blocking if you desire a relationship, right? If you annoyed, because sometimes people can use annoyance as a shield and can't even see the things they desire
Mhm,
in a relationship. So I'm just bringing that up for the studio audience
mhm.
and people in the congregation, right? I just want, because some people may look at it that way, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay.
So
No, I'm great. But I'm looking at this comment, Miss
yeah.
Corey, CORI. I
Yeah.
apologize if I
Wait. Wait.
misspelled
I'm
your
sorry,
name.
Corey. I'm sorry.
See
I want to interrupt
what
you.
I just said. What I just said. Look
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
comment.
I
Right.
want.
But here it
Wait. I'm
says,
sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go. I want to go to the comment before that because I saw
okay.
it popped up and it caught my attention too. But before that, Kevin said he said all that Corey said. Men experience that every day. We are
Mhm.
constantly on edge. We deal with the world telling us we ain't jack. Our women telling us we ain't jack. Just constant marginalization of our being. We're asked to be everything to everyone, knowing that we aren't valued by no one. Huh.
Before I was cut off, before the question was asked, what I was getting to, and I
Mm-hmm.
told you I love history. I love us as a people, and this is where I come from. What I was going to say is what all of the stuff I've said, there's a small percentage of us saying these things, but that's what's getting people paid. That's the soundbite. That's what's being projected across the world. So that's what's being told. But that's not necessarily the reality, but it's helping cause this chasm between Black men and Black women.
So
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
that so when you're talking about people saying Black men aren't this, those are those discussions. I'm hearing those too. I'm hearing the other side of it. And it's not true. The people I talk to and come into contact with every day don't act like that, don't feel like that, don't look like that, don't sound like that. And so there's this thing that's being heard um, and being perceived. Jackson thinks I'm aggressive.
Yeah.
I
So
think
let
I think what we're missing here, and it breaks down to be this simple. If I'm a firefighter as a man and I get off work and I'm in a dimly lit area,
Mhm.
ain't nobody walking up on me walking my car. I don't have to worry about being missing on the back of a milk carton. I don't have to
correct.
worry about being black girl gone and somebody snatching me up and the world don't care.
And nobody looking for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
as black women, y'all do. There's certain things that y'all have to look at. Like at the end of the day, black women are the lowest on the totem pole. I'm just gonna keep it 100% a buck. Yes, black men, we have to go through things that we have to go through and we have to deal with. But black women suffer in silence. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff that they have to deal with, they don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because They have this, what the world is putting on them now, this masculine energy, right?
Because
But I believe
they're gonna
what
be called aggressive. They're gonna be
right, but
called
I believe
angry
what
and mad
I
and
be, yeah, I believe what
Bitter.
Corey is saying in this instance is that at the end of the day, she wants us as black men to step up and protect them as black women.
that's
I
it.
don't have to be your man. I just can't say, like, I'm not sure, because it says Facebook, with this comment that says, Miss Corey, I
That's
apologize if I
Jackson
spelled your
Michael.
name wrong.
That's Jackson
Mr.
Michael.
Michael. Yeah, Miss Corey, I apologize if I spelled your name wrong, but you do seem kind of aggressive and painted a narrative of black men. Black men have always protected black women, but democratically, the women of color have pushed the agenda of the blonde man. Okay, I'm not. I'm confused at that very last statement. But we have not always protected the black woman.
That's
I'm
right.
just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
We
No.
haven't,
So let's
and
say
just
some.
You
being
mean hold on, ever in time or what? Because at some point we did now. So what when are we talking about in the last how many,
Yeah.
100 years or
Well,
something?
Jackson,
let's
can you clarify?
because kind of
That's a good
Yeah, I'm not.
clarification.
I'm okay. So I'm gonna say in the dawn and the age of rap music,
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it back to that again.
For
You
the
know what I'm saying?
last
Because
50 years.
right. So it's like we can't put out music, right? I'm just gonna keep it that simple. We can't put out music that is demeaning our women, and then Mark, us as young men, this is what we're hearing growing up: the demeaning of our women and how they have no value and how they're bees and hoes and they have no value. And then when we become men, this is how we treat them for maybe 10 years of our male adulthood until we learn better to do better.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna say this, but women, when here's the thing, women signed on to it because they didn't have to drop they to their knees when they hear it. Because even when my era, the '90s, when Snoop and they was talking about bitch and all that stuff. Guess what? It was still women on
Yeah.
the dance floor, so they bought into it though.
so which means
Right. They bought into
but
it because we told them that's what their value was.
No,
well
You get what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
I
So
don't know
that goes
that.
back to leadership.
Yeah, we're gonna have to disagree on
That,
that point.
yeah, which means
that
which means to both sides of that, men are responsible, women are responsible.
Well, everybody's responsible.
Everybody's
yeah.
responsible. So what we have to look at is what our responsibility is individually, especially toward
hmm
the person that we're calling ours, or we want to be ours, or we want to be with them. But as a whole, there has to be a thought process of protection. Because remember there was even a time different back in the day that the neighbor could whoop your behind and
Mm-hmm.
send you home, and you would
Right.
get another one because there was a network of family wherever you went. And what Corey is saying, and I understand what she's saying, and to me, it's not an act of aggression and thought or coming out with being aggressive. It's Mark asked the question, "Are you tired?" I said, "Yeah." It wasn't even my question,
Right.
and I said,
Right.
"Yeah, hell yeah, I'm tired."
Hey, before we move, like that last part, I do want to kind of touch that
Yeah.
last part, pushed against the agenda of black blonde woman. Yes, we do have to definitely touch that because that's such a uh,
Mm.
major part of that particular comment. And
Hey,
I would
break that
probably
down for me
say,
because I couldn't really understand
I,
it. So break it down for me.
I think and what they were saying is the Democratic Party at one point, due to the women's rights movement, things of that nature, allowed, so they say the white woman knocked on the black woman's door and told them how upset they were, how it wasn't right, blah, 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 blah. You need to go out and do blah, 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 right? That's what the women's agenda was about, right? You
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
need to go out and vote and all those other things. Okay. So I guess they were saying it was democratically sponsored, right? But here's a trickery. Yes, they did do that. That was their fight. And then yes, black women did join the fight. But here's the weird part about it. They went back to their husbands while y'all stayed out. They literally went back, told y'all what y'all need to do, right? And then went back to their husbands, right? And left y'all out there to dry.
Right.
You're talking about the women's suffrage movement?
I'm talking about when the whole women's rights movement was, that was a white agenda, right? Correct?
hmm
Absolutely, but you got to
Okay, hold
remember.
on. Let me say
Oh,
that.
go ahead.
They actually joined, like they always, you see it today. Whenever there's a cause, they want us to buy in, right? They
Oh,
want
yeah, they
black
put it
women
on
to
our
buy
back.
in.
Every
Right.
cause.
Okay. So they bought in, right? So and so then there was a shift of saying, let's be independent, right? That it started there, and then the
Mm-hmm.
independent movement came in shortly therefore after 30 years after, right? Let's say that, right? And so, because so you had music and everything telling y'all, go out here and do what you want to do, blah 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 blah. That started. So the independence
Music that's
started
not
from
even
that
pushed by
particular.
us.
Right, the one push. Right, absolutely. So my point is that because y'all joined in on the fight. At
Mm-hmm.
that point, they told y'all that y'all wasn't happy. You should be doing this. Basically, what
Yep.
you should be doing this. And then y'all said, okay, we'll do it. But then they went back to their husband and left y'all out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened.
And
Exactly.
I'll say this. I'll say this, Michael, to kind of echo a little bit what you were saying. I will say this because I think sometimes, and it's not it is an excuse. I think sometimes black men are slow to protect black women is because we'll see a black woman in the street being accosted by her man, and we might step in and be like, "Oh, whoa, what's going on?" And the black women will go in on us, or we might walk up to a black woman and you know what I'm saying, we're just trying to approach her to try to get to know her, and she'd be like, "Why are you talking to me? Why are you coming to me? What you talking to me for?" You know what I'm saying? Because she may not find us as aesthetically pleasing, so we catch that type of attitude. So in some sense, I do kind of agree with some of the stuff that Michael is saying, because some of those are the things that we deal with when we approach, you know what I'm saying,
Melissa said
black women.
excuses.
We get some of that pushback, so automatically we're like, oh, now to any other race, we're gods. Let's keep it a G. Let's keep it a buck. To any other race, the black man is a god. So we get treated totally differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
To where in our ethnicity group, black women have had to bear the protection of protecting the pride of black men since we was getting sodomized by the slave owners in front of them. I'm just saying it goes back that far, right? So we don't, I don't want to go too deep, but black women have had to stand on the side and be like, while we getting done, they've had to stand on the side and console us and protect us and have been playing kind of that role for a long time. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say like, they don't see us on the same level, but you know what I'm saying? I think it's sometimes when you have that dynamic, it's just like, and not saying that you DJ or you Corey saw this, but I'm just saying when you go back down through history, when you learn from your mom and your grandmas, like, well, he ain't gonna do nothing for you, girl. You got to get your own. You got to do this. You got to do that. So that's being constantly preached to you, preached to you, preached to you. So it's like as soon as you get approached from a guy, whether he has that intention or not, it goes right back to what you just got preached from, because they're going off the trauma that they went through in their past relationships. You know what I mean? So now it's like everybody's living vicariously off what mama went through and what grandma went through. And you ain't never even realized that. You ain't never even got that. But you're like, oh, you know what? Nah, brother. Why you looking at me, dog? Why you looking at me, brother? Like, dang. What? Because a lot of times a man will go up to a woman just to be nice, and she'll treat that man like he's trying to holler at her. It's like, no, I was just trying to be nice. I was just trying to help you cross the street because that's what men do. Or I was just trying to open the door for you because that's what men do. But you're treating it as if I'm trying to holler at you, and that's not even my intention. So that's the other side of the coin. And you know what I'm saying? So I just want to give both aspects.
Yeah. And I think we should kind of bring this back home with both aspects, meaning there is no me without you and no you without me.
Mm-hmm.
When
Right.
we come to the point where we realize I get that history is important. It is very important. It speaks to a lot of what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
But when we start with us, ourselves, me, starting with me, and then how I operate, how I move, we as humans by nature are selfish. We base things off of me thing. It's got to be for me. It's got to be my way. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. Somebody asking for a part 3 of this convo. it has to be a me. But I really believe in that thought process that it starts with one.
All right, Ms. Davis.
Go. What we're missing here? Because I'm talking, y'all hitting it.
Listen, Michelle Clark. Hold on a second. Yeah, Michelle Clark and Melissa Davis.
So should Black women treat Black men according to their one time?
I think that's responding to what Cortland said.
No other people tried to explain why they won't lead nor protest their women.
Kevin specifically, Mr. Noble.
Yeah. But y'all, I get there's a full agenda. And having a full agenda means that there's a lot of things that can go on. But let's pull this back to where we started, because
it's their fault.
It's their fault. But let's pull this back to where we started. Last week, women, ladies, it was your fault. This week, men, brothers, it's your fault. So at some point, we have to move this way, and we have to make that connection and first say, because if we, no disrespect and big up to anybody who's overcome some type of addiction. But when you go to an AA meeting, the first thing you have to say before getting even started is, hi, my name is Donna.
My name is.
And I'm an alcoholic. So starting with taking accountability for self. And I almost missed it. Kevin know what this means. Kevin been riding for a minute. Ding, 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 ding. Counseling, getting to a place for yourself where how you feel and how you treat others is based on how you feel about yourself. A lot of times we put off on others how we actually feel. We always put off on others the experiences that we've had. But at some point we have to say, it's not you against me, me against you. We are here to try to build this thing, because the ones coming up after us will have a platform just like this, and they're going to be talking the same type thing, and there's going to be no resolution. What I'm saying to y'all, what I'm saying to me, what I'm saying to us, water your own damn grass. Let that blossom and bloom and grow, and then watch how the neighborhood looks. If I'm doing my grass and I'm out there working it and it's looking good, nice and plush, and my neighbor come outside and like, dang, what you putting on your grass? What you putting on your lawn? What's helping that? What's making that grow? What you got? And this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Then their lawn is popping up, and we find ourselves every week, girl, what day we gonna cut the grass? What day we gonna keep this all manicured and all together? So all I'm saying is, we can go forever on who did what wrong. Forever on who did what wrong. Our purpose and our point here, and I know on Mark's platform, I got it right, I didn't say podcast. On Mark's platform, and Cortland's platform, and Corey's platform, and Corey being an educator, I have to do this. Educators, please give her a hand. I have daycare centers, and them buggers, I can imagine what she hitting on the upper level with the kids. Woo-hoo. But on this platform, we're looking for relationship growth. We're looking for relationship growth. And it's not saying be blind and oblivious to the negatives, because we have to recognize the negatives. We have to see them. We have to know them. But one way to defeat that is to know it and see it when it's coming. And when it's coming, you do something about it. So, brothers, it's y'all fault. Ladies, it's our fault. But we can take that fault finding and bring it together and be like, ooh, look how good this is. Look how good this is.
Do we get a last statement?
You gotta. I'm getting ready to go around the table. Corey, you got a closing statement.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that at this point, We have to say, that's your fault. This is my fault. Let me fix me and move forward. And I think the answer to that is definitely some form of therapy. I believe, to me, I think that therapy is a form of self care, and we should just enjoy that. Talking to a non biased party, getting all the crap out of the way from the past, getting through it, sifting through it, making sense, and moving forward to be a better person for whomever or whatever is coming next.
That's right.
But
Mr.
yeah,
Tony.
it's really y'all's fault though.
Yeah, it's their fault. Mr. Tony.
Well, keeping it on the subject of it's our first fault. First of all, Kevin, I saw your comment when you was replying to me, and I totally agree with you. And I'm gonna say this to end it on my situation, fellas. We have to stop waiting for everybody else to put on their oxygen mask when the plane is going down, and we got to put ours on first. Because you cannot save the people around you until you put yours on first. If we waiting for everybody else to put theirs on, guess what's gonna happen? we we not stepping up as leaders, we not stepping up as protectors, and we out here dying and we out of breath. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't save themselves, and that's not what they want. They would like
Mm,
for someone to come save them. Not saying that they need to be saved, but they would just like, in this analogy, for a soft place to land. We can't give them a soft place to land if we fumbling and bumbling because we don't know where the oxygen masks are. Start putting our oxygen masks on first, so we can roll out the little thing that they have, so we can give them a soft place to land when the plane is going down.
Cause
That's it.
I don't need it. But when my man come around, I can't, baby, I can't open this.
Oxygen mask.
Can you open this? I can't. Cause a soft place to
Yes.
land. A
Yes.
soft place to land. Go ahead, Mr. Mark.
So I guess I'll just start and say, girl, it's your fault. Girl, it's your fault. Um, because I'm gonna get on the man. I'm balanced. I'm equal opportunity.
Oh, we know. Come on, bro.
So woman, it's your fault for not understanding who and what you are as a spiritual being. Understanding your intuition and discernment cannot be broken by any man. That's your fault for not realizing that there's a lot of
Mm,
information and belief in who and what you are out there. If you don't know that, it's your fault.
mm,
Men, I can definitely say it's your fault. Um, that you haven't taken the time out to understand what a leader looks like, right? At a certain age, I think that we should come to the conclusion that if we hear enough noise, we actually have to do the opposite of what we hear. So if we hear the relationships are going this way, I think is being a leader and being a man is to reset the tone for the things that you desire, regardless of what it is that you may hear about, see about, or even experience. I think that's something that you have to do. It's a you thing, accountability on both parts, but definitely on that particular situation. But other than that, that's all I have to say. Is your fault if you don't go out and learn how to be a leader.
that's right. That's right. I love it. I love it. Y'all messing around and gonna make us. We gonna have to come up with a name for the foe. I love it. So y'all, let me let y'all know, y'all who are viewing. Mark, if you could put it in the chat, please.
What's that? I'm
Um,
sorry.
as far as your um,
Yeah,
Lord,
I'm actually floating in the chat. I think I did say something to a couple people. Just hit
yeah,
the
your
just
information.
just follow me on there. It's Date Night Online on YouTube. I'm Instagram Date Night Online TV, something like that. And just follow me on Facebook. In the comment section, I usually drop a comment at me there. If you'd like to actually come on and give your perspective, you can definitely reach me in the inbox. I accept all comers. The doors of the church are open. So those who want to clear
Amen.
their mind,
That's right.
heart, and their spirit, come and talk to me on Date Night Online.
That's right. That's right. Love it. Love it. Love it. So, you guys, we are going to be on Tuesday. That's right. Is that our night? Date night live.
Uh yeah, we're going Tuesday. We're going Tuesday. We're going Tuesday. I'll definitely have a link for everybody. I give down a link for everybody that's in this group, or everybody will have a link. We do have I have a couple questions for the for the pastors and evangelists that came into the church of Date Night. We will definitely go through. We'll definitely have communion and have a great time. So that'll be Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be this coming Tuesday. But like you said, the link will be. I'll make sure I post the link in the RLRG page on the RLRG page. So February, guys, we still will be going next week, which is our fourth Thursday of the month. We're gonna stay with our regular schedule, although we added tonight, and I'm grateful for adding tonight. I appreciate it. This will not be our last. We'll definitely let you guys know when we're on again. February looks like we're doing all 4 Fridays. I'm sorry, Thursdays in February. I have a real treat. Now, some of y'all fellas, and I see this is kind of mostly male heavy, so I'm gonna say it. When Valentine's Day rolls around, Valentine's time, however you say it, rolls around, the men tend to be like, well, I love every day. I shouldn't take one day to have to show my love. And okay, I get it. That's, to each his own individual. You deal with that with your loved one. But so I want to say it's Thursday, February 8th. I call it a love doctor. Dr. Kia Fisher is going to be on live with me, and the topic for that live is going to be the pleasure principle. Come with your grown folk ears, because we going in on some grown folk stuff. All right. If you easily offended, don't be on the 8th. If you want to learn some things, bring your little notebook, because she is officially a doctor of the arts in relationships. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. Listen, love on someone, because you never know who needs it. You never know who needs it. All right. Good night, everybody. Let me. I always have to do this. I have to hit IG first, because I don't know what they be doing.
Kids, it's your fault. That's coming next.
Huh?
Kids, it's your fault. That's coming next.
Kids, it's your fault.
Right.
All right, y'all. Love y'all. Y'all have a great upcoming weekend. And stay warm. All this crazy back and forth weather. See y'all later.